First, I do want to call out Michelle Shoemaker. She's the VP of Go-to-Market Enablement at LinkedIn. She's going to share about Chicagoland talent insights and help all of us in this room. How are we going about attracting and retaining top talent? So Michelle brings 20 years of go-to-market experience, sales strategy, and leadership to LinkedIn, previous high-level positions with Bain & Company, the Advisory Board Company, and Google. Purpose-driven leader in her field and is a dedicated advocate for Chicago businesses every size and sector. Please help me welcome Michelle to the stage. Thank you, Michelle.
LinkedIn's economic graph is a digital representation of the global economy. As members change jobs, as companies evolve, as positions are posted, as skills are learned, the economic graph grows. And now we're helping those members, taking what they're adding to the graph and creating new opportunities with those insights. From business owners, to company builders, to culture creators, to policymakers, students, and strivers. The global LinkedIn community is contributing to the economic graph, bringing people and communities together to create opportunities for others, one member at a time.
Thank you for having me today. I am so excited for this opportunity to introduce LinkedIn to the Chicago business community. LinkedIn, our vision is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. And we do that through our mission of connecting the world's professionals to help make them more productive. We are the world's largest professional community and the #1 most trusted social platform in the world. So we work hard every single day to make sure that our 900 million members globally can use the resources of this platform to grow their skills, to find opportunity, to connect with each other, and to transform their careers. So all told, we have about 900 million members and 61 million companies active on our platform. So that means people every day, millions of people every day, are coming to LinkedIn to hire candidates, to connect with professionals, to grow their networks, to learn new skills, to connect with potential buyers, and again, to transform their careers. So let's start with some grounding before I dive into some of our economic graph data. So, as we all know, if we've been watching the news, over the last couple of quarters, we have seen a decline in GDP growth globally. That means that 2023 will likely be a harder year for the business community than 2022. But all told, the US economy is holding up much better than other global economies. And so that can mean, it can be a mixed blessing. That can mean that the Fed will continue to tighten monetary policy to help stem inflation, and it also has significant implications on our labor markets. So the first thing I want to do is introduce you to LinkedIn's labor market index. And when you look at this graph, I'll show you a couple of things. First, we have data that spans multiple countries over the last 3 years. And you'll notice on the y-axis, you'll see a ratio. Now this ratio represents the tightness of the labor market for different economies. With a ratio over 1, it means that every applicant has more job choices. There are more jobs being posted than there are applicants, and that leads to a tight labor market. When the ratio is below 1, that means something different. It means that it's more of an employer's market, where there are more jobs, or less jobs, and more job seekers competing for those jobs. In 2021, we saw the labor market tighten significantly, where we had a situation where there were many more jobs than people available to fill them, and that had implications on the unemployment rate. Now, as we're moving into 2023, you're starting to see that labor market normalize, where we're seeing more of a kind of positioning of the labor market, more in line with what we saw even at pre-pandemic levels. So for job seekers, that means that if you're looking for a job, by and large, you probably still have the opportunity to find one. But in some industries, we are seeing less jobs being posted on the platform. I'd love to dig in a little bit into what's happening here in Chicago. And I think I hear an echo, so I'm gonna maybe change to the podium, is that okay? Thank you. I want you all to be able to hear me okay, without an echo and a lot of extra noise. So let's do that. So let's dig into what's happening here. Wow. What's happening here in Chicago. We have a couple of things going on in Chicago. Amongst the 5 million LinkedIn members we have here. So when we look at what's happening with those 5 million LinkedIn members and the employers here in Chicago, we have a kind of a tale of a story of one city, two stories, one city. In some industries, we're seeing job posting growth year over year. So for instance, if you're in utilities, education, or retail, if you're hiring in those industries, you're likely seeing significant tightening in the labor market. So this is a place where you may be competing for applicants in these industries. However, if you're in industries such as financial services, technology, information, or even consumer services, there are fewer job postings this time this year than there were last year, which means that you may have your pick of applicants with more traditional skill sets. But what I want to focus on is this continuing tightness in the labor market. For those that are looking for candidates who have many options available, what are you going to do if you're in utilities, education, or retail? This is an example of what we call our LinkedIn Talent Insights. We use economic graph data to build these reports, and what you see here is a representation of some of the fastest growing skills in Chicagoland. So if you're in a position where you're looking for talent and having a hard time finding talent due to that tight labor market, you may go into LinkedIn Talent Insights to understand where workers are growing their skills. For instance, here in Chicago, customer experience, operations, analytical skills, these are skills that members are adding more and more to their LinkedIn profiles. So if you're having a hard time finding candidates, you may want to expand your aperture beyond your industry to look for skills that may fill gaps in your talent pools. So as a hirer, I may look at what I need to grow my business from a talent perspective, and then try to identify if some of these skills would help me grow my talent. These skills are transferable across industries. And in fact, LinkedIn uses a methodology like this to fill some of our job positions. So for instance, we hold a portion of our sales roles every year to introduce applicants and employees that have no sales background. We hire them for their skills, not their experience. And then we give them the training so that they can be successful sales professionals. This is something that you can do too. One thing, if you're looking for these skills, you may wonder where can I find them? If I have to go across industries, if I'm looking for different job titles. So Talent Insights can also help you with this. Say I'm an employer hiring for a strategic director. Talent Insights can show me that there is a job in another industry called account executive that may have some of the very same skills. So account management, cold calling, and sales process, these are skills that overlap across these two job titles. So here's just another way that you can continue to build the skills that you have in your workforce. In addition to hiring for skill sets you need for the future, another opportunity is to grow your existing talent. So as an employer, focusing on internal mobility is one of the best things you can do for your company. using tools like LinkedIn Learning to grow your talent so that they develop skills to be ready for the next opportunity internally. We found through our data that those that have an internal mobility opportunity after 2 years are more likely to be with the company, which has many benefits for you as an employer. This skills topic is very important because what we are also seeing in our data is that skills needed to perform certain jobs are transforming pretty rapidly. So in fact, over the last 5 years, we've seen almost a 1/4, 25% change in skills needed to perform certain jobs. And then we expect that to accelerate throughout the rest of the decade. So if you're not focusing on internal mobility, on upskilling your workforce, now is the time to start. So while you may have thought of LinkedIn in the past as a place to connect with your professional network, now I'm hoping I can share with you a couple of ways that LinkedIn can be so much more for you as a business owner. First, you're seeing at this point 44% of hirers are now using skills data like the data I presented to you today to leverage and fulfill job openings and needs that they have in their hiring plans. You're also seeing almost half of visitors come to LinkedIn to visit company pages to understand where potential opportunity may exist for them as job seekers. And then finally, we're also seeing about half of B2B buyers using the LinkedIn platform and saying that being able to connect remotely makes their purchase process much easier. I'd love to put this together with an example of a small business out of here in the Midwest, out of Columbus, Ohio. Mixed Talent is a staffing agency, about 135 employees. They came to LinkedIn to help grow their business. First, Mixed Talent put together a company page. This gave potential employees and even their own employees a sense of what the company is all about and what its goals are. Then, Mixed Talent used LinkedIn Recruiter to find talent to fill their open roles. After that, Mixed Talent created a company post which shared thought leadership on the topics that they were most informed on so that they could further connect with potential candidates, with potential buyers, and others in the industry. And then used the LinkedIn Sales Navigator platform to understand who their potential customers could be, what buyers were looking for, and deeply understand those buyer objectives. Finally, Mixed Talent leveraged LinkedIn Learning to help grow and develop and promote that internal mobility we talked about for their 135 employees. So this is just one example of the ways that LinkedIn can support you as a business owner. And so, as I wrap up, would love to make sure that each of you has a set of free tools that you can take with you as you think about different ways that you might be able to use the platform. So, if you want to take a photo, use this QR code. This will take you to a direct custom link that will share free tools that you can use right now and help you stay connected with me and everyone else on our panel. So with that, I thank you for this opportunity to introduce LinkedIn, and I'll turn it over to an engaging discussion from our panel team to bring us home. Thank you.